They announced that they are testing Unity 2022 on the ETS. They like tweeted it.
Wait, sorry, real quick. I'm just gonna check my calendar real quick. What year? What? Just double check, just real quick. What? Gotcha. Okay, it's 2024 right now. Okay, cool.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the podcast, the show dedicated to talking about all the poggers things in life, like music, content creation, and video games. I am one of your co-hosts, JesseKazam.
And I am bear aware.
Bear aware. Oh, did you run into any bears on vacation?
Thankfully, no.
Oh, dang. Because you were bear aware.
Yeah, exactly. I had my fucking bear spray holstered, ready to go.
Dang.
Dude. I was like, quick trauma-gy. I went to, just got back last night at like 2 a.m. Me and the wife, we spent last week, we went to Wyoming, Montana, Idaho.
Oh, sick.
Drove around, went to Yellowstone.
Oh, dope.
Went to Old Faithful. We did a bunch of hiking.
Yo, that's sick.
Yeah, it was a great time, dude.
That's like a whole part of the country I've never been to, and I imagine is a very different vibe.
Yeah. I mean, so what me and the wife, we have we're kind of on a little bit of a mission where we have we're gonna go to all 50 states together.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So that was like our way of we like
knocking out a bunch of them.
Yeah. So we kind of like try to get a few at once, right? Because it's it's like a 2-hour flight with a 2-hour layover and a 5-hour flight to get out to there. So we flew up to Jackson Hole, which I hate the name so much. There's no way for me to not
flew out to Jackson's Hole.
Yeah, we penetrated Jackson Hole and then so we were out there for a bit. We did a little bit of hiking. Then we drove through Yellowstone a couple times, and
that's dope.
It was awesome. I decided to take my camera because I have a Panasonic Lumix G7.
Okay.
Nice little budget camera. I have 2 of them. So I took the second one with a lens I don't even remember buying. And you're a camera guy, so we could maybe actually talk about this for a little bit because I'm curious to hear your reaction.
Okay.
So I went out there with the camera, and most like 99% of my camera experience is with an iPhone. Sorry, 98% is with an iPhone, which depressingly takes like unbelievable photos. I mean, like literally my wife is sitting there just going click click click, and I'm sitting there for 20 minutes setting up all the fucking things, and I take a picture. I'm like, yours just looks better. Like, what am I doing?
It's
so 98% with the iPhone, 1% with the Lumix here video camera, which is basically like I set it up once and I haven't fucking touched it. And I'll probably need to watch a tutorial the next time I need to like reset it up. And then the other one with setting that up for actually doing some photography. And this was kind of like what I was thinking was kind of a practice session because I've got plans. For once I'm going to try not to just like spoil it, but I have plans. I don't think this is going to be a video anymore. I think it's going to be more
the Karen Reed
thing.
Ooh. Netflix documentary series.
Right, if only. But I do want to do, especially considering Canton, Massachusetts is like an hour away, less than an hour away. I want to go and film some B-roll and go around. I want it next level.
For sure.
It to the next level.
For sure.
But I'm like, well, if I got to do that, like I have to fucking learn how to use the equipment, right?
Yeah.
I'm just going to go around with my phone, even though honestly that would probably be fine.
I mean, genuinely. But I get that where you have the equipment and there's like, I mean, we're very similar. You're like fortunately, but unfortunately right that the iPhone basically does. Like, it's like you almost have to be an intermediate level with pro equipment to get better than the iPhone. It used to be if you had any knowledge of cameras, you could take a better shot than what your phone could provide. But it's in even a weirder spot now because you have to like spend time in the beginner phase of like, not you, but anyone who would want to learn in the beginner phase of cameras and be learning and still not take pictures as good as the iPhone. You almost have to like be intermediate level before you're like, oh, I can see where this is better than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like making your own coffee at home for the first 6 months is going to be not as good as if you just go to the coffee shop down the road,
exactly. Right? But 50 years ago, coffee shops didn't exist, or it was just like war coffee in a tin. So the second cup of coffee you made at home, it was better than that. But now it's like you have to work to get better than a coffee shop. That's a great analogy. Yeah.
So basically, I went with the Panasonic, which is a micro 4/3.
Yeah. Crop sensor.
Is it a DSLR technically, or and then I had the little like kit lens it comes with, plus a lens I bought that I don't even remember. I bought it with ideas, and now I understand more. Like I spent 3 days doing it, and I've learned so much in just 3 days.
Yeah.
But now that lens has some zoom.
Yeah.
And it also has like electronics in it to make it like autofocus and whatever, right?
Yep.
And there's another lens I bought that is, and I don't know like the specs or anything on the other lens, but on the one that I bought, it's a 50 millimeter 1.8.
Yeah. The nifty 50.
Yeah, and it's with no electronics. It's so funny. There's no electronics, and yet it weighs like 3 fucking pounds. It's this little lens like this that it's like,
dude,
it's like
literally that's what it's called, the nifty 50. The 50-1.8 is like the goated.
Yeah, it's the one I bought. It's actually like, it seems like it's kind of incredible value. It's the TT Artisan.
Okay.
It's like $100.
Interesting.
And it's like this phenomenal, beautiful, like
piece of engineering.
So picture that. I have the camera. Now, I also know like a little bit about ISO and shutter speed and f-stop, right? All of these things, right? Now, imagine you give someone who doesn't really know much about these things. Like, I know that if I scroll this thing, the number goes up and the screen gets really bright.
Yeah.
And I scroll it the other way and the number goes down and it gets dark. And then there are like 3 or 4 numbers and it's all just like, this makes it lighter, this makes it darker, this makes it lighter, this makes it. And it's like, what do I, not understanding. And I understand infinitely more than I did a week ago. And yet I still know that I know 1% of
working
what there is to know.
Full time in the industry for multiple years. There were still times where I was like, I need this image brighter. Should I increase the ISO? Should I lower the shutter speed? Should I drop the f-stop? Like, because you can use them all to make it brighter. Kind of. Yeah, you can use them all to ultimately make the image brighter or darker. They all do it with their own flavor and should be dialed in the right way. And so, like, I mean, it's like audio stuff, dude. Like, back when I was like traveling around doing the youth ministry thing and we were the band, dude, we spent the better part of a decade deep. That was our whole thing, is we brought the whole audio solution. You know what I mean? We brought the system, everything. You didn't have to worry about it. And there were still nights, dude, where we were like up until 2 a.m. troubleshooting, like, why isn't the audio coming out of this monitor? And it's like, it's just, until you get into something like photography, videography, or audio, there's just like, you don't realize how you can know it all, but it's not one thing to know. It's like a billion things to know that coalesce into one thing. And so sometimes it just gets really hard to like, what do I do here? Yeah.
Yeah. So now, and after I talk about this, I kind of want to share what I think is like a little heuristic I came up with, at least like going forward for now, that I'm going to work with as like a beginner, maybe baseline for dealing with this stuff. But so imagine 50 millimeter. And I want, I love the bokeh. I want the depth of field. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to do this. Set the fucking, aperture to 1.8.
Yep.
It's 1 p.m. I'm standing outside in daylight. And it's like, what am I looking at on my screen? It's a white rectangle.
Yes.
and I turn everything to the min, everything to the max, and it's just a white. And I'm like, what the actual fuck? So I was like giga frustrated.
Yeah.
Like, why can't I? It's impossible for me to.
Yep.
To actually like use this in the way I want. You know, I was like wanted to get my wife next to like a barn and have like the mountains all blurry in the background. And I'm like sitting there. My wife's like, I'm smiling. Do I stop smiling? I'm like, yeah, it's going to be a bit because I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I can turn, and see, I don't even know like what I don't know the terminology.
Yeah.
So is the 1.8 the f-stop? Is that aperture?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So now turning that number, first of all, is there like something about doubling there that's like relevant? I almost felt like the values were like double or maybe like 50%. They're like 50% jumps at a time. I don't know. Anyway.
Like the steps, like 1.8, 2.0, 2.2 or whatever.
Yeah. I don't remember what the values were, but
yeah.
But are you okay? So you're closing the aperture, which is letting in less light, which the number's going up.
Yeah.
So the smaller it is, it's like wide open, which is why it's so bright. You're letting in so much light.
Yes. Yep.
But yeah, so there's nothing I could do to get it to work. And then it's like, so I spend all day taking pictures. First of all, not only that, but so then I dialed it down. So now it's like, it's just like every other lens in that. Now there's not
you don't have that really nice bokeh. Yeah.
So I'm like already a little bit frustrated. And I get back and I look at all my pictures from day one and they're all fucking out of focus.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I'm sitting there and it's like between the sun in my eyes and on the screen or in the viewfinder, plus the size of the screen, I couldn't like, I would like dial it into where I'm like, I think it's in focus. And and I know that there are some like digital tools and settings in the cameras where you can do like focus peaking or whatever, where it like, I couldn't, there's something with that I couldn't get to work. It only showed up sometimes. But but overall, it was just like,
that can be helpful to have. Yeah, you can like some cameras you can toggle on. Like in Sony's, it's like a red. It'll outline red whatever's in focus, and so you can kind of pull from there. Some cameras have a setting where as soon as you turn the focus wheel at all, it zooms in like 200%. So then you're just like looking at her nose or whatever, and you're like, oh, it's much easier.
That's what the other one does because it's got the electronics. It's connected, right? Whereas this one doesn't.
Yep.
So, and I also had to go in, like, first of all, you put the lens on and it's like, lens not detected. Sorry. And I'm like,
oh, geez.
So you have to do shoot without lens so that it basically like ignores. There's a setting.
Interesting.
And then on page 9 of the 4th settings tab is shoot without lens. You have to do that. And then all of a sudden now I can use my camera.
They've crammed so much tech into these small cameras now that the menus are atrocious. They're just like 48 pages of all the different stuff you can do.
Yeah. But so I didn't, I had to sort of figure out how I was going to handle that. The whole like, part of it's just my eyes. Like I'm sitting there and it's so bright that I'm having trouble. I can't focus on the screen.
Yeah.
To see it clearly to figure out if the camera's focused on the scene. But so then I find out like, oh, there's something called a fucking ND filter.
Yes.
Great. And all that it is it's basically fucking sunglasses for your goddamn camera.
Yeah.
That now it just makes everything darker so that now you can open up the fucking aperture and
get a variable ND as well.
I got a variable ND filter. I ordered it
Game
2 days ago and it's coming today. A variable ND filter. And I also got, because I think I know that like this is one of those things where I also watched a video where the guy had one of those $50,000 red cameras. It was like a newbie with a $50,000 red camera and an amateur with a $300 DSLR. Yeah. And they did like a commercial and it was like trash from the $50,000 camera, out of focus nonsense. And the dude with the $300 camera who just knew how to like compose the shot, keep things in focus and do color grading. It was like unreal how good it was.
Yep.
So I'm well aware that like more gear doesn't make better or whatever, but these are some things that I feel like I could get a lot of value.
Oh, for sure.
The ND filter. Also, another one was like a polarizing filter.
Oh, yeah.
where like we're looking up at it's so crazy where if you have like a daylight scene
Yeah.
and you turn it, all it does is it takes the sky and like makes the sky dark blue, but like the clouds don't change.
Yeah.
It's like whatever that is, I need that.
Some of that
like
stuff
sick.
is crazy. Yep.
But so I just got an ND filter and I got a decent, probably budget, like handheld gyro. No.
Like a gimbal.
Handheld gimbal. That has some pretty decent features, and at some point I think I probably want to get, there's like an attachment with a second handle that also has like a mount for a monitor, like a secondary screen. That might be like very helpful because I've got bad eyes. So between the gimbal and the ND filter, I feel like I could go down to like Boston and just get some really great video footage.
Hell yeah. Yeah, the ND filter's so nice, especially because like I was definitely not so much into still photography. So like the thing about doing video is that your shutter speed, like that's one of those rules. Obviously, it's like jazz, right? When you know the rules, you can break the rules and do whatever you want. But one of the rules is like your shutter speed needs to be like double your frame rate. You know what I mean? So if you're shooting in 24 frames
for video,
if you're shooting in 24 frames per second video, you really want it to be at 50 shutter speed. So that basically takes one of those three pillars and locks it down. So then you're only using the ISO and the aperture to increase or decrease brightness. And ISO, like the analogy everything uses is like, get in your car, turn on your stereo, but don't play any music, and then turn the volume all the way up. And you'll just hear you've just cranked the volume, so that's ISO. So like the higher that is, the more noise is introduced into your image. So it's like for video, ND filters are lifesavers because so much of it is like locked down. If I want the bokeh and I can't change the shutter speed and I don't want to crank the ISO because then it's like, boom, pop on the ND filter and you can just like kind of fly with it. But yeah, dude. I love that stuff, dude. We built out. I convinced my boss. We got 2 Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K videos. I built cages around them. We were shooting onto SSDs in RAW. I had a second monitor. We had focus. We literally, it was this gear you would put around the lens and another gear, and I could manually pull focus from the handles of it. I didn't have to do it. And so like he had one of the first gen DJI Ronin gimbals. Like, bro, we did. It was so sick. The lens, almost exclusively the lens I used is this. It was like a $2,000, but it was a Canon 24-70. So like the 50 is just 50, but it was 24-70 variable zoom. And it was a f2.8 all the way through, which is what made it so expensive. Because normally variable lenses have like, at 24, it's 1.8, but at 70, it's f4. So this was 24-70, f2.8 all the way through. And dude, I could just like with that one rig, I could shoot anything. I loved it, dude. Yeah,
so I've got like a few heuristics that I think are going to help me. It's so funny. Sure. Like you jump in, you start asking questions, and you realize like, oh, this is one of those age-old like programmers have tabs versus spaces, like that debate.
Oh yeah,
it's like it's like Android versus iPhone.
Yeah,
you have it seems as if there's a debate where like some people are like set your ISO to like 100.
Yep,
like 100 at all. And of course, I looking at my camera, I'm like, maybe I'll try that. And I look and it doesn't even fucking go to 100. 200 is the minimum. So I'm like, well, now what?
Yeah.
So I think I got kind of an idea for. I think what I'm going to start with is try to keep the ISO as low as possible. Just probably start with it at 200. Then I'll think about like, what do I want the aperture? How much depth of field do I want? And from there, that almost kind of like sets 2 numbers.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's the shutter speed if I want to adjust the light. And if obviously it's too bright, then I put on an ND filter. And then if I can't do it, then I don't like Jesus take the wheel.
Jesus take the wheel. I
shouldn't be doing it. And I think like something like F8 is like reasonable for if just like you're outside, you want to take a picture of like the environment. Like F8's a good starting point.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's like do I go all the way up? Do all the way down? Like, what
Yeah.
do the numbers mean? It's like just knowing F8 is like the not a default, but like a good middle ground. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yep.
I don't know.
The tendency like is always to go as wide open as possible. Like when I first got my 50, I like never moved it from 1.8 because I was all about the bokeh. I wanted the bokeh. And it's like then you get into stuff depending on how far away your subject is, like their nose will be in focus, but their eyes won't be. You know what I mean? Or something like that because it's so small. And if you're too far away or too close to them or whatever. So just moving that around is nice.
Yeah. It's like doing what I'm doing is like the equivalent of like I want to learn guitar because I saw Van Halen tapping.
Yeah.
It's like you want to start there, right? I was like I like photography with this crazy depth of field and low light. It's like or yeah. So anyway, I don't know. Did you see any of the pictures I posted?
I did.
Posted a few pictures. Yeah. So I posted a few pictures up on Twitter that I'm obviously they're like not the clearest, crispest, whatever, but I'm like honestly for the first day, these were like the best ones from day one. So day one with the camera,
dude, hell yeah.
Now what I didn't realize I forgot is that is a fucking bald eagle. That was an American bald eagle.
Oh my god.
Yeah, which is pretty sick. I have a few different shots.
Damn.
Motherfuckers out of focus.
Of course.
But yeah, this guy came so close to me, dude. It's right up to me. I've got a bunch of videos of like bison and shit too that were.
That's so
oh my god.
sick. Oh my god.
Yellowstone was gorgeous, man.
Oh, that's so
gorgeous.
sick. I want so bad to take a drone through that stuff. I don't think you're allowed to, right? They'd probably get mad at you.
No, there were signs everywhere, no drones. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So
that's
yeah,
awesome.
Anyway, that's
dude, speaking of pictures and images, okay. We have to quickly call back to last week's episode, okay? Somebody pinged me in my Discord and said I was messing around with image generator. I don't remember which one.
AI?
Yeah. Dude, why is it a JFIF?
Now you got a problem. Was it you that sent me JFIFs?
No, I keep sending you. They're not JFIFs for me, but oh my god. Hold on.
Oh my god.
Hold on. I have this is important. I have to send this to you and you have to bring it up. You know what? I might just take a screenshot of the image because I'm that lazy. That's actually exactly what I'm going to do.
Oh no, this is going to be one of those times where I go to click on Discord, it opens up, it says I'm updating.
Okay.
Downloading update and then doesn't update.
Okay. Yeah. Look at that image. Somebody was messing around. We talked quite a bit around AI image generators because we were trying to produce one very specific image. It was Meta AI that finally did it. Last week, you tried to make 2 bowls of spaghetti, or this image from Lady and the Tramp, but the dogs were actually bowls of spaghetti. That like is a 10 out of 10. Well, you tried, was it Mid Journey? You went through like 3 or 4 different prompts and it wouldn't do it?
Nope.
10 out of 10.
Requesting he does the sky's basketball.
Oh, yes. I have to ask him.
So it's not just a fucking basketball up in the sky.
Please do the sky is basketball. Oh my god. Yep.
It's got like, there's something about, maybe it's because it looks like they have like whiskers where like almost like the I don't know if it's Chinese or Japanese like dragon.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I like the dragons have like mustaches.
But that's actually pretty insanely on the mark for. Yeah.
So while we were out there too, I did the whole Google, because we do a lot of driving. We go to,
yeah.
We stay at like in 4 days. We stayed at 4 hotels.
Dang.
Multiple hours of driving every day. So I did the whole, best true crime podcast 2024.
Ah, yes.
And I listened to every episode, finished it literally like as we were landing. Actually, no, I was listening to the last episode on the drive from the airport back to my house yesterday. A lot like a wrap up episode of a podcast that if you like true crime, and if you've already listened to Serial, Serial season 1, and I forgot the other one I recommended. You have to listen to a podcast called Your Own Backyard.
Oh,
and it's so fucking good.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things where it's like, how has no one told me about this? Like,
oh, dang.
On. It's content like that makes me want to feel compelled to make like a channel that's like things you need to see.
Oh yeah, just content
Games
recommendations.
You need to play, movies you haven't seen, what, like that kind of thing. So
yeah.
Have you ever heard of Kristen Smart?
Mm-mm.
So back in, I want to say like early Kristen Smart, 1996. She was a California Polytech student. Okay. In 1996, she was 19. She was at a party, went to a party, never came home. It's been almost 30 years.
Oh.
And never found her body. For multiple decades, there was just nothing. It was like she was, a college girl close to like a long vacation or like holiday weekend kind of thing where it's like she probably went home, she probably went on vacation, she probably went whenever. And it was like the campus police weren't doing anything, the police weren't doing anything in like the critical hours, right? The first few hours after someone goes missing is like the most important. And they basically sat on their hands. Now it turns out there was this guy that was basically like a serial predator. This guy, Paul Flores, they called him Chester the Molester. He was like, he was every single person that talked about him, that went to school with him, that had jobs with him over the course of like more than a decade. Everyone was like, he was creepy and scary and made me feel uncomfortable and would touch me and was forceful and like everyone, like literally hundreds of women. And she was like stumbling. She hadn't drank a lot yet. Somehow she was like stumbling, incoherent, almost blacking out. And he says, I'll help her home. Don't worry. He helps her home. He says, even though she's stumbling and can't walk, they split up. He went to his dorm. She went to her dorm. And he never saw her again. Well, yeah, I don't even want to give any details. I don't even want to give any details, but basically, as a result of this podcast and what the guy who seemed like a young guy, like I'm honestly like genuinely inspired after this. It like renewed interest and like almost not popularity of the case, but it was like pressure on the law enforcement that for multiple decades had done nothing. The parents were like, what the fuck is going on? We want to find our daughter. And the end result was fairly recently. I don't know if it was yet last year or the year before. There was a trial.
Jeez.
And her body still hasn't been found, but there was a trial with a verdict.
Oh, and that's crazy.
And honestly, like during the trial, they're talking about the podcast because like he basically brought so much attention that all of a sudden people started to be like, oh yeah, no, that guy like sexually assaulted me. And people were coming forward and people had tips and he like almost reinvigorated the entire case and brought all this prominence to it to the point where like I want to say like the podcast almost was the reason why everything happened, because it was stagnant for 20 something years,
dude.
But it's an incredible story. The kid's young.
Wild. That's crazy to like almost single-handedly push it forward. Like maybe he didn't break the case or solve it, but like to push it to the next step it needed to take is crazy.
Yeah, and it seemed like the best part of it was just that he was coming at everything from the right perspective.
Yeah.
Like, this was like a mega famous case back in the 90s and early 2000s, like super high profile. Is in California, missing,
Jeez.
pretty teen girl. And so naturally, like, everyone and their mother is like, let's interview, let's do a documentary, let's whatever. And, the parents are desperate. So they actually kind of said yes to sort of everything.
Yeah.
But it got to the point where, they were starting to kind of not.
Yeah.
And of course, they're all doing it just, for the clicks and whatever.
For sure.
And he came in basically being like, I don't care about any of that shit. He didn't even run any ads. I think he got like 20 million views or something on the podcast.
God.
He didn't run ads. I hope he monetized it somehow.
Yeah.
But he's like, I just want to find her. It's like, that's why I'm doing this. I want to find her. Like, it seems he was like driving through California and there's a giant billboard being like, she's been missing since 1996. Like, help her come home kind of thing. It's like, holy shit.
My God. That's wild. Okay, so
Yeah,
that's called Your Own Backyard.
Your Own Backyard. Highly recommend it. So good.
Dang.
So good.
How many episodes?
I want to say there were. So it's kind of like two different parts. There's like the main. Let me look. So it's from a guy named Chris Lambert. So there's 8 episodes. And then there was 2 episodes that's like the beginning of the end part 1, the beginning of the end part 2.
Did they do any of the trial stuff?
And then People versus Flores, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, weeks 4 and 5, week 6, week 7, 8, 9, and 10. So these are all like hour-long episodes where he talks about what goes on in the trial. And they weren't allowed any recording devices, no computer. So he had to like take hand notes, which like stressed me the fuck out listening to like, how are you able to like write these long technical quotes?
Yeah.
Like I haven't written since like 6th grade, dude. And then, yeah. So, I mean, there's, I don't know, 20 something episodes.
Yeah.
And then
Dude, that's sick.
It's so good. It's so good.
That's sick. Cause we're going to be spending some time flying next week for TwitchCon. So maybe I'll, load it up and give it a listen.
You should listen to it. All I'll say is that it has inspired me.
So
we'll see.
Circling back to the Karen Reed stuff. Yeah. Ooh, that's dope. That is dope. Indeed. Well, hell yeah, man. Before we move on to talking about some of the other stuff we want to talk about this week, I do want to take a quick second and thank the first sponsor for this episode, and that is Chubbies. Now, summer may be coming to a close, although if you live in Florida like me, we're only about halfway through. But Chubbies has got you covered with all sorts of additional stuff. They're known for their swim trunks or their shorts, which are phenomenal. But as the weather gets a little chillier and crispier, Chubbies has all sorts of things like ultra cozy comfort clothes, they've got flannels, which I actually need to get my hands on as like the guy that wears flannels all the time. They've got long sleeve shirts. They've got like flannel lined shorts, warm pullovers, all sorts of stuff. And they're phenomenal. I know that like genuinely personally, it was actually like so clutch that we've been working with Chubbies for a while now over the summer, especially. I'm a jeans person. I just like always wear jeans, and I needed shorts, and I had like one pair of jorts that I made from old jeans that I wore for like 4 years because I legitimately just didn't know what type of shorts to buy. And then I never leave the house because I do anything, and I have like 5 additional pairs of Chubbies now because I was like, oh, these are what like actually fitting shorts are supposed to feel like and make me look actually nice. So Chubbies is great, and moving into the fall season, it's cool to know that they've got more than just the shorts, more than the swim trunks. They got all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I first started wearing Chubbies was the shorts because that's kind of what they were known for for a really long time. And the not only do they fit, especially for it's hard as someone who's just like average skinny to average. To find things that fit right.
Yeah.
And their clothes just not only did it fit very well, but they were also super comfortable and also like high quality.
Yep.
You know, being able to get like a nice pair of like khaki shorts that have like an elastic waistband, but like are like nice
also
khakis.
belt
They're
loops.
Not,
Belt
loops. Yeah. Especially because like, you know, I'm going dad bod. I'm going from skinny guy to dad bod without the kids slowly. So it's like, oh, having an elastic band's a little good.
Dude, it's
you know,
so nice. It's so nice.
But I'm excited because I got one of the pairs of pants. I think they're called the Dark and Stormies.
Yeah.
Because I needed a nice dark pair of pants that wasn't jeans.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited because of how well they fit.
Yeah.
It makes me, for the first time since like college, I'm like, yeah, I gotta buy some shirts. I'm gonna go out and maybe wear a watch and get a new pair of shoes.
Dude,
and like
seriously.
I gotta look good.
Like I got like 4 pairs of shorts in a bunch of different colors, and it was the first time I was like, dude, I have these shirts and they're gonna match this. Like I got some like green shorts and they're gonna match this. And yeah, no, for sure. It's nice. It's nice. Also, like lengthwise, I always had just like long shorts that like went down on my knees, and being able to choose like the 5-inch, the 7-inch, the 4-inch shorts. It's nice. So yeah, obviously they're super well known for their swimsuits. They have an unbelievable amount of designs, unbelievable amount of like patterns and stuff you can choose from. Their shorts are like a staple for them. But if you're looking for even more than that, they've got, once again, like the flannel line shorts for more warm stuff. They got the pants, they got the pullovers, they got the flannels. So all sorts of stuff like that. And if you're in, you know, a terrible place like I am, where it's summer all the time, you know, definitely check out the Chubbies Classic Line swimsuits or the Friday shorts, all sorts of different stuff to take a look at. So, and for a limited time, our friends from Chubbies are giving our listeners 20% off with the promo code POGCAST20. That is at checkout at chubbiesshorts.com. That is 20% off your order with the promo code POGCAST20. Support our show and tell them we sent you this fall. Make the most of everything, every moment with Chubbies. Shop now and fall into comfort, one style piece at a time. Thank you so much to Chubbies for sponsoring this episode. What is that from?
I don't know.
Is it it's like, I feel like I know it from Smash Bros, but it's probably,
I think it's Mario.
yeah, it's probably from something else, but it's like in Smash Bros or something.
Because Smash Bros isn't its own thing. It's just 87 franchises.
Exactly, smashed together. Yeah. I want to get Smash Bros on the Wii so bad. Or sorry, not on the Wii. What? On the Switch. What year is it? Why did I say the Wii?
Fucking Wii,
dude. Imagine, bro. On the Switch. Because my kids are finally starting to get into video games, dude. Freaking Mario Kart was the gateway, and now he's into Minecraft. Models is into Minecraft, although he keeps losing the diamond pickaxes that I make for him. Oh my god.
What, lose it? How does he lose them?
Because
they're consumable.
We play, and then we go down in the cave, and I find a bunch of diamonds, and then I make diamond stuff for him. Mm-hmm. And then when I'm at work, he plays again, and he like falls down an endless pit and dies, and he can't figure out how to go back. You only have like 10 minutes to get your stuff.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So I thought, because they're like consumable, they have durability.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, the kid's working, dude.
No, he literally does. He's never swung a diamond tool I've made for him a single time. He loses it. He just has it in his inventory when he's like jumping off cliffs or something like that. And it's one of those things where it's like, I shouldn't care more than you do, right? Like, this is your game. I'm here to help you. But I'm like, dude,
you're throwing.
Stop. Yeah, dude, please freaking stop. Yeah.
I'm sick of carrying you, kid.
Yeah, 100%. But no, it's good. It's good. Speaking of gaming stuff, there's not a whole lot going on in Tarkov. Like, dude, yeah, I don't know, man. This wipe has just been so fascinating. I feel like I've been saying this for a while, and I don't want to speak for everybody, you know what I mean? But every wipe, it just feels like the early wipe is shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. Even if they don't make changes, big sweeping changes, but they did make some pretty big sweeping changes, a la the flea market and the arena stuff. But yeah, it just feels like we had like 2 weeks, and then it's kind of just back to normal. It's kind of just like completely back to normal. Tarkov, you know what I mean? I feel released from having to like Kappa grind. They made the Kappa grind even harder, so I feel even better about that. There is all sorts of like weird stuff going on. Like I keep seeing stuff about cheaters in PvE mode where like I know, dude. Apparently there's a dupe glitch or cheat where you can just like dupe anything. So people are listing like I saw something that like T7s were like 600K on the flea market in PvE. Because the flea market in PvE is for everybody in PvE. You're never in a raid with other people, but
but there's still a global loot economy.
There is a global loot economy, and apparently cheaters were like somebody duped and like sold like 1,000 T7s on the flea market for like 300K. So then they got all bought up, and then people tried to flip them for more money once his ran out, and it just tanked. I mean, like T7s are like 8. When you unlock the quests to buy them from Jaeger, they're like 18 million rubles. And they were on the flea for like 600K or something like that. So yeah, it was crazy. So I don't keep tabs on the cheating underworld of Escape from Tarkov, right? But I keep seeing like shorts or hearing or reading on Twitter about like cheaters in PvE, which is like mind blowing because I don't know, PvE doesn't wipe. So it's kind of like, why are we cheating in there? But I mean, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, crazy stuff. I saw a picture and I couldn't tell if it was like photoshopped as a joke or if it was real, but I saw a picture of a gamma container that was 3 by like 40. It held like 90 slots. And I was like, at this point, it's 100, it's perfectly 50-50. This could be a real thing that is happening, or it could be literally somebody just photoshopped this for a meme. It could be either one. So I don't know. Things are off the rails, and it just is what it is, man. I don't know.
Yikes, dude. So does all that mean that you're like a little like less enthusiastic about?
So I wouldn't say less enthusiastic. I've genuinely been having a great time. Like been having a great time raiding with the boys. I have been having a much more enjoyable time kind of questing at my own pace, where like I like just did like, it's early when you consider how long the wipe has been, but it's late for like a grinder. You know what I mean? Like I just finished Punisher. I was just like doing that the other day because I was like, oh, like I have nothing to do today. Let me see if I can get some cool SVD kills. And I spent all day with Trey and I did Punisher, and it was like, it just wasn't, I didn't feel the same. I wasn't like Giga Maldi every time I died because I was like missing out on progress. It was just like, oh, I'll build another SVD. So I would say, because we talked about that like a few weeks ago, where it's like, in a way, even though it feels like the meme where like the dog is like sitting in the room on fire and it's like, this is fine. Like I almost feel that way. Like I have a weird renewed sense of joy playing Tarkov because I just like don't care to like take on the burden of like making videos or writing scripts or like this needs to change. I'm just like, people that come in and they say stuff that I like just so blatantly disagree with, I'm just like, oh, cool, man, maybe that would work. Like I just don't care. So that's kind of made me lighter. But behind the scenes, that's like the cheating has been really bad. The economy is kind of crazy. There's cheaters in PvE. The sentiment of the game and the community might not be at an all-time high right now. And so it's, I don't know. What I can say is I'm very excited for Delta Force to come out hopefully next month. One thing that has been really interesting though is the marathon mode. So we talked about that. The whole like, you start on ground zero and you work your way through the maps and stuff like that. I didn't care to like hop in. I'm not really an achievement hunter. A lot of people did. There's a fence quest to go from ground zero to shoreline because that's basically top to bottom. And you get like 100,000 XP. I just didn't care too much. But we didn't really have anything to do. And the other day, Hambino was like, bro, let's go for the achievement. he was like, let's go for the achievement just because we have nothing else to do, but let's do 0 to hero. And so, dude, I was going to say that overskilled. So we were literally just running in with a hatchet on ground 0 and trying to see how far we could make it. Like nothing. So we had to worry. It completely turns the game up on its head into a survival game. Because even if you're doing good, you kill a Chad even, you get his gun. You only have the bullets in his mags. You don't have any extra bullets. You know what I mean? You only have... So it was like we were literally just finding guns, piecing stuff together, killing scavs, upgrading our kit, hoarding meds, hoarding food and water because you don't ever go back to the stash. We would go... And we made it, dude. We made it 0 to hero, ground 0 to streets, to labs, to streets, to interchange, to customs, to factory, to woods, to reserve. And I died on reserve. I only needed lighthouse and shoreline, and I died on reserve.
Oh my god! And you started as a hatchling?
As a hatchling, yeah. So
how did you get your first kill? Was it a scav usually, or
just scavenging, looking fine? I found a pistol. Like I found a 5.7. It had 10 bullets. I killed 4 scavs, and then we just loot up, and you just go from there. And it's like on that run, that was the farthest we made it. On that run, we both killed PMCs. We both killed scavs. Like we weren't just like doing the guide where you just like lay in a bush the whole time. There were a few times where we spawned right by the extract to the next map, and so we did just kind of chill. But it was, dude, it was low-key kind of fun. It literally just completely turns the game on its head, and a bunch of people have been doing it. So, like, Smoke is back on Tarkov, and that's right up his alley. Like, he's just milking it, like, spending every second he can in every raid, seeing how far he can go, VoIPing with people. Sheaf was doing it just like Giga Chad style, where he brought in, like, 800 rounds and was trying to get like 10, 20, 30 kills, scavs and PMCs, but on every map. Like he was just trying to like fly through. So it's the marathon mode is really cool. It's like it's in such a weird spot though, because you're playing raids with normal people. It's not its own queue. I thought it was its own queue for a while, but it's not. So you have to deal with all of the bull crap. So like you have to deal with player scavs. You have to deal with like cheaters and just like weird spawns and all sorts of stuff like that. And it's really static in that when you're on ground 0, you can only go one place, and that's streets. And when you're on interchange, you can only go one place, and that is customs. And those extracts are static. And so you're in raids with non-marathon people. And so if you wanted to just be a troll, you as a non-marathon person can just sit on the extract to the next map. It's like, it's an extract camper's freaking wet dream, because
now how many people are playing marathon? Like, is there
It's
is there
hard
going to be
tell.
a marathon runner in every game, or
It's probably not, but it is really hard to tell. I mean, I know that there are some people out there that are in my chat that are like, it's been very lucrative to camp the marathon extracts. There's always one that's trying to do it or whatever. We died, when I died on reserve, like I died in the corner of the map that's the least gone to, in the tower that has the worst sight lines. Like if you were trying to get shooter-born in heaven kills, if you were trying to get anything, it was the worst place on the map to be if you're trying to do anything. And I died to a guy that was butt-ass naked, head to toe, with an RFB and a scope. And I was like really close to the extract. So it's like, I'm not confident he was camping the extract, but also that he like, you couldn't even say he was doing shooter-born in heaven because he didn't have a bolt. He had nothing but an RFB with an L-can in the tower that you can see the lighthouse extraction. So I don't know if he was extract camping, but I was like, yeah, okay. Now, it's very true, like Eval in chat said, raids would be empty if it was its own queue. I'm not saying it should be its own queue or shouldn't be. I'm just saying that changes the experience a little bit. It's like doing hardcore. Like when people ask me if I want to do a hardcore run in Tarkov, I am like not even close. No way. If like in an alternate universe where there was a separate queue for a hardcore account, I would play that, because to me, there's already enough bullcrap in Tarkov to put up with. I don't want to handicap myself anymore.
Yeah.
But if I'm playing raids where we're all equally handicapped, that feels different to me. So I'm not saying that they could get away with making Marathon its own queue, because he could be right. That could make Tarkov raids more dead. The Marathon raids could be super dead. Like, I'm not saying, but it would be more enticing to know that everybody was risking as much as I was risking. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel like that it's like the first time the idea of playing Tarkov would excite me.
Yeah.
Theoretically, hypothetically,
in
like
GTA,
in Minecraft, playing in GTA, in Minecraft, in Tarkov.
Yeah.
The idea of like, you say, I want to play marathon mode, start game, and you don't pick your gear. Everyone starts off with like you said, maybe class, like a P.A.C.A and a fucking Beretta, or you know, whatever. Is there a Beretta?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there is. Wow, that's how long it's been, dude. That's how long it's been.
That is crazy.
Yeah, so you have a fucking M9 and a P.A.C.A, and like, so everyone starts off with like very basic shit.
Yeah.
And you know, maybe the queue is a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But it's also like worth. I would wait 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Versus, you know, 45 seconds or however long the queues are. They're probably 20 minutes long. But I would wait 50% or 100% longer if I got in with people who were kind of the same gear, with the same goals, with this kind of survival element to it. Because everyone's going to be playing more careful. They're going to be playing, you know, theoretically, right? Playing slower.
Yeah.
Especially the later you get, the further you get in. That also gives you the element of like dynamic timings.
Yes.
Because like if you extract, you're like halfway through, but then they come in when you're halfway through.
Yeah.
Like it gives you the element that we talked about in, you know, back in the day with the open world, about how much cooler it would be when people aren't just in predictable places at predictable times.
Yeah.
And
sure.
Even if it was dead,
dude,
I hate to say, but like the best days of Tarkov were not when you played for 10 hours and didn't see anybody.
Yeah.
But when you got through a customs raid.
Yeah.
And because you know, the Tarkov I remember playing recently, right, was you spawn into customs, you run 30 feet, you get into a fight.
Yep.
And then you get to dorms and you get in a 1v2, and then you know there's 3 other people coming, there's 2 other people coming. It was just a different game when like you'd be opening up marked room and all of a sudden you'd like look down the hallway and you'd see a flashlight.
Yeah.
And you'd shoot the one guy who didn't expect you to be there, you'd kill him.
Yeah.
And then it was like 20, 30 minutes, you know, however long would go by and nobody would come, because it was like, it was more desolate, it was more barren, it was more atmospheric, it was more at times more chill, but also more tense.
Yeah. Because
now the situations are like slightly, because you get numb to the excitement of everything when there's a fight every 4 seconds.
Yeah.
The arenatization of the game made it less incredible.
So that was literally going to be what I was going to say next, where I think marathon mode could stand to have like, I want to talk about 2 things here. The quick thing is, I think if you made arena mode its own queue, marathon mode its own queue, and you made it so that somewhere between 50 and 75% of the total PMCs that would normally spawn, I think just about anybody in the marathon queue would enjoy that, because it's like a little bit of breathing room up front, and like you said, much more dynamic dynamic raids. And one of the reasons that those raids would be more dynamic is because at any point during a marathon run, let's assume you were in with everybody else doing marathon, your needs might be different at the time. So you get to customs. Customs is streets. If you went to labs, it's ground zero, streets, labs, streets, interchange, customs. So you're on your 6th map by customs. If at this point you killed a few dudes and you've got guns and ammo, but you're running out of meds, you might sprint to Crack House. But if you're good on meds, but you're running out of ammo, you might go Fortress.
Or you get your stomach black 3 times and you like have no
you
energy.
Need food
you
and
need
water.
Food.
You're going to the gas stations. So like that would add another level of the like dynamic, not just because there's less PMCs, but also because those PMCs might have different goals at any given time. And so, yeah, I definitely agree. I think that'd be interesting. I think the other thing that I want to say is there's an interesting, like, I agree with what you're saying about Tarkov proper, but similar to kind of when we were talking about the economy, where we were talking about how there's so many small things have changed. You like the thing you and I bring up all the time is so many small things have changed. You can't just turn the flea market off and we're back to old Tarkov. That's what a lot of people want. A lot of people like just get rid of the flea market and it'll be back to the way it was. But that's the big thing that's changed, but you don't see all these small things that have changed. It wouldn't go back. I definitely align with the sentiment of back in the day, it wasn't a fight every 10 seconds, and I liked that feeling better. But if you have the amount of PMCs in a raid right now, I don't think Tarkov would feel good because so many of the other changes about like what you're supposed to do, like kill quests, kill PMCs on this map, do this thing, they're also, you have less needs. So like, this is just one example. I'm not saying that this is like the Bible, take what I say as, but this is just like an example. You might be key farming because you needed a key for West 306 to do healthcare privacy. So you didn't mind not running into PMCs because you needed to go try and farm for that key. Well, now with the flea market, I can buy all the keys I want. So that's one less thing on my checklist of like, I need to go into a raid to find this thing. And the shorter that list gets, where there's less things you need to go into a raid and find because you can buy it on the flea market, you can craft it, you can do, the shorter that list is, the more you feel there not being much PvP. Because then you're in raid where it's like, well, I can get all my quests done outside of raid. What am I here for if not for the PvP? So it's like so many, similarly, so many small things have changed that if you just have the amount of PMCs in a raid right now, I think in some ways it would feel good, but in some ways it would feel really bad. But this marathon mode is like perfect for it. You know what I mean? It's like I almost want them to like.
You're not doing Shooter Born in Heaven in marathon mode.
Exactly.
I almost feel like the marathon, it should be like a character.
Dude,
like you have a marathon character where now here, if I could do it right now, if I could just snap my fingers and just be like, just test it and see, I would say on this character, there's a fresh progression in terms of skills and level, new different marathon specific quests that made sense, no flea market, no hideout.
Dude, it would be so interesting. Like it's just like what's in your and give everyone half of a standard stat. I'm almost excited to see what the SPT modders are going to do if they can get their hands on the map to map travel update. I think updates normally stagger, like the SPT guys normally don't get it for a while, because I do feel like there would be some cool custom game modes you could make, because it's basically answering the question, what if you stripped away the entire economy and the quest system and you made Tarkov a survival game? Like, what if the only thing you were doing in Tarkov with these guns and this gunplay and these bosses and these really immersive maps, surviving? And so when we were doing Marathon, man, it was like really stressful and really like weirdly nostalgic for that time where I was like scared all the time. Everywhere I went, I was terrified. I was terrified of PMCs. I was terrified of scavs. And so, I have criticisms of the marathon mode, but kind of like what we said about Arena, where I'm almost like, I don't want those criticisms to come across. I'm like, oh my God, the marathon mode, they really needs all these things. I want it to come across as like, you guys kind of cooked here. I hope you keep doing something with it. I don't know. It was really surprising how fun it is. But then on the flip side, it's like, I don't want to say ruined, but then I see some clips or I have some things happen to me. Like I have the extract camping. I have the guy that, is probably extract camping ruin my run because in the marathon mode, it's a one-way street and you know where all the exits are. So I was like, you know what I mean? Or it's like the Giga, you're on streets and 87 seconds into the map, waves of player scavs are spawning in. And you're like, no, I feel like these experiences conflict with each other. I'm supposed to take my time and kind of inch through the map, but I'm just like getting player scav. Dude, Sheaf, there's a clip. He was extracting from Shoreline. It's the last map. You're on like 10 maps at that point. He's at the car extract. The counter is counting down, and a speed hacker is just like flying back and forth in front of him. And he's like just like begging the dude, like, please don't kill me. And he doesn't. He lets him out, which was crazy. But it's interesting. Or, you know, you get into a fight with a dude, you know, 8 seconds into a raid or something like that. So I don't know. It's dude, you know what the other thing is? You have an opportunity to get the matching bug at every extract. So like I've seen videos of people, they were 8 maps deep and they got the matching bug, and you have to confirm leave. You just confirm leave. You don't see how many kills you got. You don't get your XP, or maybe you get it, but you don't see how much it was. You lose your kit, and it's like counted as a disconnect or whatever because you're on the matching bug. And it's just like, brutal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How? Oh my God. How hard is it to fix a bug like that,
dude?
The answer is not so hard that they
not 4 years hard.
Any excuse? No, there's never. Okay,
yeah.
The only time there's ever been a bug that took me more than a couple of days. And again, I've did this for 10 years. I worked on some serious software, some serious fucking software in the robotics industry, IoT, real-time communications shit, stuff that's like fragile. Lots of state where things can get disconnected, Bluetooth, whatever. And there was like never a bug that I couldn't fix in a few days.
Yeah.
The only time, the only exception to that is things that involved race conditions where we would never experience them in-house. We could never reproduce them, but we would see that there were like 1,000 instances of this one particular crash.
Gotcha.
With our crash logging software, that's like, at that point, it's usually like there's 27 things going on at once. Yep. Someone's freeing up some memory somewhere that some other thread tries to allocate, boom, it crashes. And it's like, that's just like things that you kind of have to theorize what could be the cause, tweak something, and then...
And in classic BSG fashion, I don't know that like this bug ever gets reported to them, because the matching bug, the bug is that you just match forever. So the game never crashes to produce a crash log. Most people don't know that the matching bug exists, so they let it go for 20 minutes, and then what do? They click the back button, which only makes it worse because then you're stuck in the infinite loop bug for like 5 more minutes. The people that do know matching bug is a thing know that when you get matching bug, you need to Alt F4. Don't hit back, Alt F4, reopen the game, and you'll be just like right back at the menu. You'll get back to the menu so much faster if you Alt F4. So at no point is there like a crash or a bug to report. Like, so I don't even know if it ever gets back to them when it happens. And then there's like, it's so funny because so many people, like, I'll be like, hey, we're Alt F4ing, and somebody will be like, why do you Alt F4? And it's like, oh yeah, if you're stuck on matching specifically for longer than like 5 minutes, you're probably matching bug. If you click back, it takes forever. And they're like, oh, interesting. But then if you don't know, there's another bug. If you get the matching bug and you Alt F4, when you reopen the game, all of the gear that you have on your person is insured, but it will show as it's not insured. So you can reinsure it and spend the extra money, but you don't need to. If you don't reinsure it, at the insurance screen, it'll say it's all uninsured. But as soon as you load into the raid, you just hit tab, it'll say all your loot is insured. So it's just like a multi-layered bug. It's been here for forever. And it's just like, do they even know? Do they even know? I don't know.
Oh my god, dude.
And so to have that ruin your like 8th map on a marathon mode when you're like got like 80 kills or whatever, you're just like, that sucks.
I mean, yeah, it would be unforgivable if they didn't know. Completely unforgivable if they didn't know. They have to know. Honestly, if they said that they didn't know, I would say that they were lying with like 98% certainty.
Yeah.
That I just wouldn't believe it, because there's just no way that they haven't heard it or seen it themselves, or watching streamers or videos, or there's just no way.
Yeah.
There's just no way. So it's just one of those things, like, I think that they probably just they're not prioritizing it.
Yeah. It's been in the game for so long. It's so frustrating.
Unforgivable. Remember that video back in the day? Unforgivable. Holy shit.
No.
That's a throwback.
Unforgivable. No.
Dr. Zhivago. You've never seen Unforgivable? God, you're such
Is that a movie or a YouTube video?
It's a YouTube video.
Okay.
Unforgivable YouTube video. Unforgivable #1. Hodge Stanson.
Hodge Stanson. That reminds me of the Disappointed. Disappointed. Have you seen that video?
I've heard it. But yeah, I went to Levine's to get some pants.
Is this like a 2000 deep cut video that I missed, or is this like a recent?
2006. 2006. I'm sending you the video. Hodge Stanson. I was gonna steal him. I ain't have no money. God damn, dude. Oh, I kind of want to listen to it. Is there like racist language? I forget. It's been so long. Does anybody know? Yes?
Okay.
Don't. Yeah, okay, never mind.
I left stuff out. Okay.
Oh, God, dude. You got to watch it. So
Anyways. So, yeah, I don't know. This wipe has really felt like the manifestation of spaghetti code. Like, there's just so many random new bugs that are like so weirdly specific and just like odd. And it's just like if they can't touch anything without it just like randomly affecting something way out in outer space. Like, it's just been, I don't know. It's been so weird. Like stuff like that they've talked about before, like the fog. That they made the fog a weather effect, so they never took the fog away. And sometimes the fog is gone, but like this wipe, randomly the fog is like quadruple dense. Like I took a screenshot the other day. I like legitimately couldn't see 10 feet in front of me outside. It was just like 8 times more dense. Like you're in the 3rd floor of the resort and you can't see halfway down the hall, let alone all the way down the hall. And you're like, wait. I thought we got rid of the indoor fog. Like I thought we nailed that. Like, it's so weird. Right now, there's I don't know if you saw, I tweeted a picture like 3 hours ago. You know, I said it was a picture of me fighting a guy with his flashlight on, and it said I was like, POV, you both turned your flashlights on and time and space temporarily collapsed in on themselves because it was so bright. I couldn't see the red lines in the middle of the voodoo. Like I could see like a half circle, like my actual optic, you couldn't see it. And I think we've narrowed it down to like, you know how if it's super foggy and you have your high beams on, it almost makes it worse because it's like reflecting off of so you can be 10 feet in front of your enemy. And if he turns his flashlight on, it reflects off the fog. And if you turn your flashlight on, it reflects off the fog. And so if you're pointing your flashlights at each other, a singularity happens and nobody can see anything. It's just the fog is so dense that the flashlights are reflecting off them. And it's just, nobody can see anything. It's just crazy. And so, like, I don't know.
I mean, that sounds like the default mode for that game, though. I was always like, I can't see anything.
Well, of course. But that's what I'm saying, where it was like, it felt like the fog was in the best state it had ever been in last wipe. And it's just like, these are the tiny things where it's like, we're just left wondering, is this a bug? Did they make this change? Like, I don't know, but it's horrendous. and I hate it. So I don't know. But there's a few other Tarkov things that I want to talk about. But before we do, I do want to take a quick second and thank.
I'm hungry.
Yeah. I want to take a quick second and thank the second sponsor for this episode, and that is Factor. So Factor is phenomenal with their ready-to-eat meal plans. We've worked with them a ton. You can get all sorts of intensely customizable meals, an entire summer menu of chef-crafted meals with Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, keto options. Their fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. Factor is great. We talk about this all the time. As somebody who hates, I love cooking, but while I'm streaming, since I work from home, I hate having to spend a lot of time figuring out what I want to eat. You know what I mean? And while many of you might not be streamers, I feel like there are a lot of people that can align with that if they work from home or whatever. It's just or maybe they work all day and then, and they come home and they don't want to worry about it. Having something that was actually made by someone and is a balanced meal with protein and fats and carbs and a healthy portion, and I can just have this ready is so nice to just kind of take that off the mental.
Yeah, when I want to role play as an adult, I'll eat Factor because it's actually a proper meal that tastes good, that doesn't involve A, having to beg my wife to make dinner, or B, eating SpaghettiOs or whatever and feeling like I'm dying from the inside out.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm so hungry right now. I just pulled up their website to look at the menu because it's been a little bit. And brother, smoky Gouda chicken with roasted red potatoes and Parmesan green beans.
Yeah.
Hearty beef chili and macaroni with roasted zucchini, corn, and toasted garlic butter.
Dude.
Potato leek mash and grilled chicken with roasted corn and zucchini saute. I think that's saute. I think that's how that's spelled. I don't know this one word though. Italian sausage and marinara lasagnette. Is it like a small lasagna?
A mini lasagna.
Bro, everything looks so good. Yeah. I'm so hungry. And then I made the mistake of scrolling down. I've had the breakfast stuff, dude. The pancakes, coconut pancakes with pineapple butter and chicken sausage.
That's what I was about to say. It's nice that in addition to, so each week there's 35 different meals you can choose from, and a bunch of them rotate in and out. So it's not the same 35 meals, but there's all sorts of additional things there's over 60 add-ons. That could be breakfast stuff, like you said, pancakes or all sorts of stuff. They've got smoothies. They've got some desserts. There's all sorts of stuff that you can add on as well. It's nice. It's nice, and it allows you to kind of once again, meet whatever goals. If you're trying to lose weight, you do the Calorie Smart one. If you're not trying to lose weight, you just want to save time, then go with the Protein Plus or whatever. So I love personally how customizable it is. It's the exact opposite of trying to quit the gym membership or something. At any point, you can pause your membership if you need to take a few weeks off, if you're going to be gone for a week, you can resume it. At any point, you can increase the amount of meals that you get per week. You can decrease the amount of meals. It's just super customizable and very customer forward. So it's awesome. So you can head to factormeals.com/podcast50 and use code podcast50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That is code podcast50 at factormeals.com/podcast50. Get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. Thank you so much to Factor for sponsoring this episode.
I just texted my wife and I literally asked her, I'm do we have any Factor in the freezer right now?
Please. So, so in the Tarkov sphere, once again, the marathon thing, it's really cool, and it opened up a lot of really interesting conversations. It made my heart so happy to see Smoke back on, and not just playing streets or whatever, but Smoke back doing Smoke things, just spending hours on a character, building up a gun, talking to his buddy. I'm pretty sure, another cool thing about this mode is you can make a friend and transition to the next map with them.
And it queues you together?
Yes. So it's like there's like it's correct me if I'm wrong, but they said that in the patch notes, so you can do that. I think so 5 is the max group size, but when you know how like when you go to exit via the car, I think it's only like 4. It'll only let a maximum of 4 out via the car. There's like the 4 little dudes, and each person that pays money, it illuminates another green light. Anyways.
Yeah.
It's like 6 on the marathon thing, but you can only queue with 5. So it leaves room where you can like take somebody with you. So it's like stuff like that is just really cool. But I hope they like flesh it out. So they said that the marathon mode being its own queue, and not its own queue in the terms of thing, but like right now, if you want to do okay, I want to go back. If you queue a normal raid, the map-to-map extracts are not available to you. You have to click marathon mode. You have to start on ground zero, and only then do you like get those options for the extracts on each map. They said,
and are they is like cars you have to pay for and wait, or
it's similar to that. There's not always a car. Sometimes it's just like interchange. It's just the corner of the map with no extract. It's not Emercom. It's not power. It's not railway. It's just that other corner in the map under the bridge. You just like sit there, but you interact with it like a car. You press F on it, and then it pulls up a timer that's 30 seconds, and you just
I was just curious. Like if it was a car, is the car visible to the people who aren't playing marathon?
Yeah.
They just can't interact with it,
no,
or you know.
Yeah. And so they said that marathon being its own clickable mode in the Tarkov map selector, that is ending in the next patch 15.2, and the map-to-map travel extracts will be available for everybody in every raid once that happens. So what I'm hoping is that at the very least doubles, where if I spawn on interchange, I can either go back to streets or to customs, right? Right now, you can only go one direction.
Great band, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, phenomenal. So hopefully that'll help. Now, the thing is, I kind of feel like it'll lose some of its magic in a way, because like there's no incentive to do this, to map travel, outside of like a 0 to hero marathon run.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you've done the quests, once again, when this becomes a thing, you will never really, unless you're a content creator making content, you're never really going to be like, I've been playing streets all day. I want to go interchange. I'll not go back to my hideout and heal and get more ammo. And you know what I mean? Like you're never going to do it. You're just going to extract and do the thing. So I hope they do something with it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, dude, a lot of people have said like XP boosts, you should get like an XP boost for every map you survive. That would, like, if you're trying to grind XP, that would incentivize you to maybe try to do that. Once again, I think if they made Marathon like its own queue or its own, like you said, character, and fleshed it out a little bit more and made it so you could travel multiple directions and, you know, stripped away the flea market, and it was just like, I don't know, I think people would play that, but it's hard to tell.
The longer you stay in the map, the more scavs start to spawn in to like come, and they get harder and they get better loot. So like you have the push-pull risk reward of like, I can stay in, and then all of a sudden the scavs are in the last 5 minutes, the scavs are all gonna be wearing Zabralos.
Yeah.
Which is like scary, but also like I want one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's like an infinite amount of ideas that have come out of the community and cool stuff. So I'm just interested, because I feel like the momentum it has will almost die when everybody just gets access to it, because it's like there's no real incentive to do it. I guess people will still just like do 0 to heroes or something like that, but they'll maybe be able to start on whatever map they want and then kind of go however they want. It'll still be you'll still be able to do some cool stuff, but I think it's just like, I don't know, they're close to something cool, and I hope that they don't lose the momentum by just kind of like folding it into normal Tarkov. Maybe the map-to-map travel needs to get folded in, but then they work on something else. I don't know. But the flip side of that is another interesting conversation, which is, you know, some people have been mentioning that raids already feel, you know, dead. And that has brought up just some interesting conversations around like how many people are playing PvE. We don't have the numbers, but I think almost everybody would agree, like way more people than anybody thought would be are playing PvE. There's definitely a non-zero amount of people that are playing Arena still, like at any given moment, to do their dailies or weeklies or grind XP. And so it's been interesting to see, you know, it's so hard to tell. Once again, we talk about this all the time. It's so hard to point at one thing and say, oh, raids are dead because PvE. Maybe raids are dead because people are fed up with the cheaters and the bugs. Maybe raids are dead because 1 million people are playing PvE. Maybe raids are dead because 1 million people are playing Arena. Maybe raids are dead because of all of the above, right? There's some amount of people that just threw their hands in the air and was like, I can't take another wipe of this bullcrap. I'm out. There's absolutely a number of people that threw their hands up in the air and was like, dude, I'm just going to play PvE mode. So it has been interesting. So like every time I open my mouth and I'm like, dude, it'd be so sick if there was like a marathon queue or a hardcore queue. In the back of my mind, I'm like, that would just be another queue kind of fragmenting the community. And it's all conjecture, right? Nobody knows how many people are playing Tarkov at any given time. Arena, PvE, marathon mode. It is impossible to know. But you can't deny that all of those different modes exist. And so there's just like more things to do as a Tarkov player, I guess. I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know. Interesting. I kind of wish, like, I don't think it would serve them at all to give us those numbers, but I would love to see those numbers. You know what I mean? I would love to see how many people are playing PvE mode. I would love to see how many people are playing PvP. They'll never do it. I want the Steam like concurrency chart. I want it split up between PvE, Arena, and main. But I'm so conflicted about it though, because like I so passionately feel the like more choices, more better. Obviously there's a limit to that, but like I will not play PvE. Like it just doesn't sound fun to me. But as we've talked about on this podcast, I love it. Like the amount of people, the tremendous amount of people that have been like, dude, PvE rekindled my love for this game. That's awesome. You know what I mean? Like, that's sick. That's an experience people wanted. I don't want it, but other people want it. So who cares if I don't want it? You know what I mean? And same thing with Arena. So many people like Jeff in chat right now, he's like, I play more Arena than Tarkov now. Like once I could get the combat of a Tarkov without any of the other bullshit, I took that. So it's like, I'm so conflicted between the like, you know, too many queues, too many things to do can definitely kill a game if there's not enough players to support all of those queues. But the other side of me is like, but more choices is more better. Like more people doing the thing they want to be doing and enjoying their time in the game is good. And so I don't know where that intersection is. You know what I mean? I don't know how many things is too many things. You know, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, dude.
I don't know.
I just wonder, like, I don't know. I wonder if Tarkov's the kind of like evergreen game that you can come back to and play like forever. You know, like think of all the games.
Yeah.
I mean, I've played hundreds of games where I've played them, whether they're multiplayer or single player, right? You play them, you go through. Back in the day with single player games, it was on a fucking cartridge, and what it was what it was. You played it until you were sick of it, and then you put it back in the fucking jewel case, stuck it in your little your CD rack, and then it sat there and collected dust until eventually your mom threw it out or whatever.
Yeah.
I wonder like what the lifespan of Tarkov is going to be at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I wonder if it's going to be still popping 5 years from now.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that's a well of a conversation, right? Like, because I say this all the time. I feel like internally at BSG, they're the past few years, they've just been having this identity crisis. Do they want a hardcore game, or do they want a more casual game? Do they want an immersive game, or do they want a fun game? Do they want a realistic game? Do they want an arcadey game? Do they want an evergreen game, or do they want a game with a set amount of content? Like, I don't know the answer to any of those questions anymore. And there's all sorts of different answers. And Nikita said stuff in 2016, and then he said different stuff in 2020. He said different stuff in 2024. And it's hard to parse it together now, but that's a great question. Like, come 1.0, I can list off 5 different things, 10 different things. We've listed off 5 or 10 different things on the podcast before that could make this game a really evergreen game. That's like fun, where each wipe is different, and you got the Path of Exile ladders, and there's slight differences to what spawns on what map, or this or that, or prestige. But also, none of that could happen, and it could be an experience that, like, you play a few wipes, you get to Kappa, and you're like, dude, like, I did it. Like, I'm good at Tarkov now. And then you kind of put it down. Like you said, I have no idea. It genuinely could go both ways. And we're so close to the finish line in terms of, like, them talking about 1.0, and we still don't know. You know what I mean? Which is fascinating. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Dude, I was going to say something. I totally forgot what it was.
Must have been a lie.
No, I would never lie. That's a lie.
This is one of those lateral thinking problems.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Jesse says he would never lie.
No.
But he says he's lying. Is he lying?
Yep.
There's a fox on a train going 60 miles an hour northwest with a hen on a boat. When do they intersect?
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. That's a valid question, though, on, like, what the kind of lifespan of it is and what they want it to be. And yeah, I can't think of what I was going to say, so it doesn't matter. They announced that they are testing Unity 2022 on the ETS. They, like, tweeted it. But that's also not the first time they've tweeted that.
Wait, sorry, real quick. I'm just gonna check my calendar real quick. What year? What? Just double check, just real quick. What? Gotcha. Okay, it's 2024 right now. Okay, cool. That's like the equivalent of, like, dog. Are you checking out? Are you checking out fucking Madden, like, 2021?
Yo,
when
boys.
it's like when 2027 is coming out, like,
boys, I did it. I finally upgraded my OS. I'm on Windows XP. Are you proud of me?
I'm still on NT, but listen, we're working on upgrading to Windows Millennium Edition.
Yeah. Yeah, listen. You've got a point. I'm just saying that they tweeted that they're testing Arena 2022, Unity 2022 on the ETS servers.
Arena 98. Arena Football 98. I had that game.
The only other thing, I haven't played much Arena, speaking of Arena, since the Arena drops, because there was the Tarkov thing. There was, like, the streamer case
it's a dead
thing.
Game and you're only in it for the money. Gotcha.
Yes,
Gotcha.
Yes, definitely that. No, because there was, like, the streamer case thing, and you had to be in the Tarkov category all last week to get the streamer case thing. You couldn't do that in the Arena category. Anyways, dude, I hit level 46, which is the just complete dead drop barrier, where, like, your dailies and weeklies in Tarkov give you, like, 6,000 XP up to 45, and when you get to 46, your dailies give you 30,000 XP, 40,000 XP, 50,000 XP. And so I hit 46, and I was pumped, and I was like, yo, my weekly gives me, like, 200,000 XP. Like, let's go. Like, let me see what it is. And then somebody was like, yo, the Arena dailies do the same thing. And since Arena XP gets to your Tarkov character, I was like, oh, I wonder what my dailies will give me in Arena. Dude, I had a daily. It was like, kill 14 people using a marksman kit in a last hero game mode, like, which is the free-for-all. Easy peasy, right? That daily gave me 150,000 XP. That's one of 3. My other dailies gave me, like, 80,000, but all my dailies gave me almost double what my dailies in Tarkov would give me, and they're all much easier to do. The weekly in Arena gives me, like, 200,000 XP, and it's just win 15 rounds in Blast Gang, not matches, just, like, you know how just like a round, like, you can win 7 rounds each. win 15 rounds for 150 XP. My weekly in Tarkov was kill 27 scavs with M67 grenades. You shoot their legs, but they don't fracture. They just run away. You throw the grenade, they just run away. You just have to like Tom Brady 27 scavs with M67s. Or play 3 rounds of Blast Gang in an arena, dude.
Jesus Christ.
It was crazy. So
what is like I need to know like what their threshold is, because that makes me wonder. And this is just the cynical Veritas here, thinking that there's no chance that that was intentional. They probably just fucked up an algebra equation somewhere. and for some reason, like the magic number is 46, where all of a sudden the multiplier is like times 10, where it's not supposed to be. Like, dude, it's just
no, it has to be like because it's not linear. So you get dailies at level 5. The amount of XP you get for those dailies does not change until 46. It doesn't get more and more and more and more and more and more, and then it does a big jump. You unlock them at level 5, and nothing changes until level 46, where they 10x. And so it was like, I just don't understand why you can't just like scale. You know what I mean? As you go, I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. But with the arena,
it's probably accidental. I'm still going to go with.
I get what you're saying. Even though it's probably accidental, I still think that what they're trying to do on the arena side is just like, my guess is they're gonna adjust the dailies, the amount of XP, the scaling, the skills, the money. Like, my assumption is that they're just like, please play our game again. We know you all think it sucked. It's fun now. And so there's like omega incentive to do it. Like, I have never.
But they don't like market it though.
No, they don't. Like, which is this. I mean, because I think this is basically how they're going to market it. They do this, so all the streamers, myself included, are going to be doing my weeklies, and I'm going to be trying to do dailies a few days a week. So we're all going to be playing arena and showing the XP, and so I think that's going to basically market the game for them. But I've never run into somebody max level. This might be one of the shorter wipes, because last wipe was the longest wipe in Tarkov history. We went until like end of August, and it's most likely going to wipe in December. My guess is that I'm going to be running into a lot of max level people towards the end of the wipe, because you just like the arena XP is crazy. You can do 3 dailies that give you 60 to 80,000 XP. So let's say 70, 71, 40, 210,000 XP, 200,000 XP a day from arena. You can get 150,000 XP a day from Tarkov dailies, another 200,000 to 300,000 from your arena weekly, another 200,000 from your Tarkov weekly, and then grind whatever you want. Grind Tarkov for bosses, grind arena for last hero XP. It's just like, it's an insane amount of XP. Now, XP doesn't mean anything, right? Like, once you get past level 42, XP doesn't really mean anything, or so it's not like that's going to break the game or anything. But I imagine I'm going to run into some max level Andys this wipe, and I've never run into a max level Andy before. But that's what I'm thinking. Outside of that, freaking TwitchCon's coming up. Delta Force is, I think, coming out in mid to late October. I'm excited about that. They announced some stuff. There's going to be even more maps. They're working on.
Maybe I'll play then.
Yeah.
Maybe not,
dude. It's gonna be, bro. It's gonna. You won't have to like worry about getting a key. It's gonna be open access. So one night we'll like just game and see if you're into it or something. You know what I mean? It'll be easier because like the keys were like super scuffed, like getting people keys last time.
I actually had a key.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah. I forget, someone hooked me up.
Okay.
I forget who it was.
Well, yeah. But I really like it. I'm excited. I think it's just like fresh and new, and we've talked a lot about like some of the new stuff that they're doing that gets me excited. Also, I just think it's like, from a content creator, there's tons of potential because it's free, which means the market is going to be bigger in terms of like how many people are interested, and it's going to be cross-platform, console support as well. The obvious big elephant in the room is like, what's the monetization going to be? Because it's definitely going to be there, right? Like, there is no doubt, like, There's going to be monetization. They came out swinging on Reddit saying they will never sell currency. We'll see how that goes, right? You know, they won't. If they go back on that, they wouldn't have been the first developer to go back on that. So we'll see. I hope that they keep it. I hope they keep it kosher, cosmetics, stuff like that. But we'll see how she goes.
Fool me once.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just kind of waiting. I'm hoping, but I'm just waiting to see.
Missed my mute button. Sorry,
dude. I think we've talked about it before. Have you ever hit your reverb button instead of the mute button?
Yeah, I'm like.
yeah, exactly, dude. I've had these like huge burps, and I hit the wrong thing, and it's just like, yeah,
bro. Oh my god, I that just reminded me. On the flight home, whoever was sitting next to me, the first thing he did, we take off. First thing he does, like pull out a fucking like Qdoba bowl or something,
okay,
and he eats it. And that was like lighting the fuse, because I swear to God, every 30 seconds for a 5-hour flight, he was like, I think he shit his pants. Like, I was literally like this.
No.
I was just like this. I couldn't even. My wife was just looking at me. She's like, it was unbearable. It was terrible.
No,
it was horrible, dude. It's such a miserable flight. And of course, like, I let my wife have the fucking aisle seat.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was the worst.
Dude, my goal in life is just like to get to business class status. I don't even take flights that there's like a proper first class, but the business class up front, where it's that's my goal.
When me and my wife went to Hawaii, we got first class on like Hawaiian Air. I can't. Let me see if I can show you a picture of what this was like. And you know what's? It's so sad. It was so nice. I experienced none of it.
Oh, you slept?
Because, let's see. First class Hawaiian Airlines. Let's see if I can.
Bro.
Oh yeah. Okay. Here's what it looks like. It's gonna be hard to see, but like, yeah. It's like you get this little pod where it full reclines.
Dude,
like it full reclines to a bed. It's got like a mattress pad, and like you get a pillow, and I literally slept. So first of all, I had like 4 glasses of champagne before the plane took off.
Yeah, baby.
And I just passed out and slept for the entire flight, and it was like so sad because it was like $1,200 each.
Yeah.
But my wife was like, we're flying, we're flying in style, and I was like, and now I'm also, I don't know if it's like fucking restless leg syndrome. I don't know if it's ADHD. I think part of it is that I just have a bony ass. Okay. So I hate sitting.
Yeah.
Like, I just get uncomfortable. So what you experience when I'm in a plane is like, I'm like this, or I'm like on my legs like this. Like, I can't just fucking.
That's so funny.
Sitting like this with my, oh god, dude, I can't get comfortable. I fucking hate planes.
Yeah, plane. That's one. Yeah, I do not like planes either. But I am stoked for TwitchCon.
I'm stoked too, man. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be good time.
We gotta figure out what we're gonna do. We should figure out if we're going to do podcast and or PP content.
Ooh.
I don't know if I don't know.
Yeah. There could be some fun PP content ideas.
Did we get the place for the hot tub, or like what? That should be, honestly, we should just do like a drunk cast where it's just,
oh my god,
it's just all of us hammered.
That would be
playing
hilarious.
Like Never Have I Ever, or something terrible that you have to pay for. Like, the entire time will just be like, no socks. The feet content.
Yes, dude. I'm in. Oh my god. That'd be funny. Dude, have you watched Chimp Crazy?
Yep.
Did you finish it?
My wife, I just texted my wife and I was like, yo, last episode of Crazy Monkey Lady. She's like, yes, I'm ready.
Bro,
I watched, how many episodes are there?
4 total.
And is that like, is it over?
Yeah.
Oh no. So that's the last one. I was
yeah.
it's so depressing. Yeah. We're about to finish it then tonight.
Yep.
It's
bro.
God.
The second episode,
she's claymation,
bro.
Dude.
Yeah, the second episode where they take that little aside to talk about like Travis, that other with the dude.
No,
bro, that was like, what the hell, dude? And you are not ready for the last episode.
Oh,
you gotta like message me after you watch it. There's just like a few. It's not like two. There's just a few moments where you're like, dude, no way. So it's fascinating.
Okay. Can we talk about the fact that the monkey's fake ashes, I'm almost positive was Nesquik. Right?
I mean,
that was hot chocolate mix. I'm not even kidding, dude. It was hot chocolate mix, right? You can't tell me it wasn't.
I mean, in hindsight, I think you're right. Yeah.
Oh, I'm absolutely right.
Yeah. You have to Google like 5-pound bag of Nesquik and then compare the two.
Wait, there's 4 episodes? I think I watched the 4th. Did it end? That's it?
Well, what happened? What was the last thing you saw?
I don't remember. Oh, maybe we fell asleep. Oh, I fell asleep. Okay, it's only half done. It's only half done, I think. Bro, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. There's gotta be. Is it episode 2 where they have the
the nest,
the ashes?
I think so.
Dude, I'm scrolling. I'm gonna find it.
I have no idea.
Maybe it's episode 3, actually. Might be episode 3. Oh god, the episode's called Headshot. I was like, that's something tells me that's not gonna be good.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm finding this before this podcast is over because we need forensic.
to show the people.
Oh yeah, we need a forensic fucking analyst here. How did you feel about the little ethical dilemma that
yeah, that was super fascinating, where they basically had information before the police had the information, and they had it on film, and they were like, well, it's so funny because it's like, it's funny that they were like, well, what if she brings us to more people? It's like, that's not what you're worried about. You just want to know whether you can get more footage or not. You know what I mean? This isn't about bringing down an international crime syndicate. You're worried about, does the doc end now or not?
Yeah.
But I get it. But I get that, like, you have the inside scoop. Oh, yes. Did you find it?
Wait for it. It's Nesquik, dog. Tell me that's not Nesquik. It's just.
Yeah. I mean, like, they even did they went to like the corner and they burned a bunch of bones, right? It does not look like that.
No, it's just straight up Nesquik.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's there's just no chance. It's
it's
protein powder or something.
It's freaking Optimum Nutrition whey protein powder.
No, but here's the thing. They claim they explain where it came from, and I think they were lying about that. First of all, because they said that it was the ashes of like the other monkey. What was it, Chance?
Oh yeah.
They're standing in front of the grave that clearly hasn't been dug up.
Well, and separate from that, even if they did dig it up, the dude went to the corner with a bunch of bones and was like, or the crematorium or whatever, and was like, burn this. And then he pulled it out and he was like, it doesn't look like that.
It's just chunks of bone, like big chunks of bone that they then have to put in a grinder.
They pulverize it. Yep.
And what she said was her husband put the monkey on of basically a campfire.
Yep.
At 160 degrees, 165 degrees.
And what they scooped up from the earth was a perfectly...
But what do you do then, right? You just burned like logs and whatever. So then did she take the logs off? And then there's a pile of like...
Nesquik.
Yeah. Chandler Halderson could debunk that pretty confidently. Fuck me. Have you watched that, by the way, yet?
No, I'm not finished with it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I keep hearing amazing things about it, but I haven't finished that one yet.
Fucking Nesquik, dude.
That is absolutely true. Because, yeah, they did explain that it was the other monkey's ashes, but I don't think it is.
Why would they have... Yeah. No, there's no chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's chocolate.
Yeah.
Powder.
For sure.
Oh, it's a fucking Ovaltine. Oh, God.
Dude.
No, more like Novaltine, am I right?
Ovaltine. Was Ovaltine powder or was it like in drink form?
Yeah, it was powder.
Oh no, yeah. You know what I was thinking? I was thinking Yoo-Hoo. Which was another.
You were thinking Tang? Oh, God, remember Tang?
Bro, Tang? Yes, dude.
I used to like
Oh, yeah.
Like remember Fun Dip?
Yeah, Fun Dip.
Tang was almost better in powder form.
Yeah, dude. Tang was good. Wow. Connection. Tang. Orangutan. Chimp crazy. I don't know what the connection is, but it's there.
I'm pretty sure it's orangutan, but listen.
That's where it came from, right? The orangutan was their logo, was their mascot.
Was it?
Yeah.
Nope. It was just orange. It was just orange.
No.
Maybe that's modern day.
Yeah.
Old Tang logo. I thought like Tang, like it was Tang.
Yeah. Just Google Tang orangutan, and a bunch of the images will come up.
It's orangutan. God,
I don't think it is. I think it's orangutan.
No, that's what people say, but I think they say it wrong. Orangutans.
Oh, well, they leaned into people doing it wrong, and the logo back in the day was an orangutan.
What the fuck? People also ask, what is the IQ of an orangutan? The IQ of an orangutan is 185, according to this. Excuse me? Witsit is an orangutan confirmed. There are no tests that so apparently the scale of primate intelligence is like something interesting. Dude, but honestly though, that the fucking chimp crazy or whatever, it's so fascinating to me how God, they're so goddamn smart, dude.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yep.
It's incredible.
The chimps, for sure.
And it makes sense because like whether you like it or not, we're not very far removed.
Mm-mm.
We're not very far removed.
Yeah, no, they are like they can unpackage a McDonald's Happy Meal much neater than my children can.
Yeah, you know what the sad part is? My wife totally put me on blast where I was like, they need to be feeding these fucking animals healthier. Like they're so unhealthy. She's like, that's your diet.
Yeah.
And it was fruit snacks and like Gatorade and chicken nuggets with sweet and sour sauce. And literally she said that while I was drinking a Powerade with fruit snack, like within arm's reach, all three of the things that were on screen I had in my hotel room.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
Fruit snacks, Gushers.
Yep.
And you know what's fucking fire? Vermont original beef and pork stick. Hashtag not sponsored.
Ooh.
Yeah, dude. Now I go to I'm a Costco Chad now where I go and I just buy like 5 of these.
Nice.
And it's like now I have infinite. Oh, you need fruit snacks? Cool, man.
Oh my God.
You've got infinite fruit snacks.
Costco's
Gushers? Now,
damn, dude. Damn. Costco's goated. Bro, you remember when we were talking about what it is that makes a fruit by the foot, a fruit roll up, or a gusher? Like we were talking on the podcast about like what do you call that gelatinous substance? I found it was literally a variety pack. The next day I was walking around Publix and it was Fruit by the Foot, Fruit Roll Up, and Gushers in one bag. And I was like, dude, whoever's making what it is knows what they're doing. Oh, yeah. Zempic sponsors. Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of, I don't know if this is actually true or if there's any connection. I'm just kind of guessing. But did you hear about that whole the YouTuber, the mukbang dude?
Yes. Nikocado.
Yeah. Who I have a thing where I fucking hate mukbang.
Yeah. It's not for me. It's not for me.
Like watching like a big woman eat like this much of a crab leg in butter, like God, I just hate it. I can't fucking stand it, dude. Yeah, they should all go to jail. Indeed,
I'm not a mukbanger.
Supreme Court,
but that was crazy. Like, I'm pretty sure it's true. He basically just filmed a bunch of content and then spent 2 years putting out videos that were old videos, and he lost like
where he was like
250 pounds,
like obese, like a big boy, and then all of a sudden one day came out with a video where he was just that had to be Ozempic, right?
Dude, I don't know, but that was crazy. That like, I mean, kind of genius to do it that way, right? Like mukbanging doesn't require any current events, so you can just like film a bunch of it and then.
Yeah, he doesn't hold up the newspaper.
Yeah, exactly. So that's that was crazy. Well, that is the stuff. Thank you guys for showing up to the kind of late Saturday episode. If you're on the PP, obviously this is if you want more content like this, you can go to patreon.com/thepogcastpod. Normally, you can get early access to episodes like these. We pushed it back a little bit. Veritas was on vacation. He got back last night. So we did it tonight. This will be up tomorrow morning for everybody. And we'll get back to it. TwitchCon is next week. We're not sure, once again, exactly what's going on. We might miss the episode. We might film something out there. Might do a little something. We'll see. But just know that. But thank you guys so much for hanging. Thank you guys so much for the support. Once again, if you want more of this content, you can go to patreon.com/thepogcastpod. Thank you again so much to Chubbies and Factor for sponsoring this episode. You guys the best, and we will definitely see y'all on the next one.
Always wear protection.